Today's tutorial is a very simple tutorial on how to make a fire particle or a very cool looking fire effect like this one, using the particle system and a bunch of glow. So let's just get started real quick. I am YcreatorGoal and I also make a lot of tutorials on this channel, so make sure to subscribe and like if you learned something new. So this is going to be a very simple tutorial, step for step as always, and the first thing that we want to do is place a particle object, which is under this one, and then in here place it and then click on edit special. And then we're going to see this menu. You're probably going to see like a brown thingy in here, but just ignore that, that is different for me. So the first thing that you want to do is, you can see the particle in here, you can like move it around, there are a lot of settings in here. So the first thing you want to do is make this like a really high number, let's say like that. And every time you change this, you have to click on calc so that the number actually changes. And this also changes the emission type. So this is 133 now, which is perfect. Now we want this to basically go only towards here. You can, by the way, like change these values as you want. I'm just going to be showing you how I made mine. And I like to have this at around maybe like 12, something like that. Looks very cool. And now the speed, I like to leave it at 29. However, this one needs to be maybe something like 12. This is like maybe, you can say like the variation for the speed. So if I increase this, you can see that it basically changes the variation of the speed. And yeah, let me just make this one also 15. This is, you can also change it in here. This is like the size of the particle. I'm just gonna be making it maybe something like this. This is very nice. And next up, what you want to do is change the gravity. This is the gravity X and Y. We want to make it maybe, let's say, go like 33 or something like that. Now you can see that it's like going up a lot, which is perfect. And you can leave everything as it is for right now. And now we are gonna actually, let's just change the sprite for now. Let me just add the fire sprite, which is, where is it? It's this one. This is the fire sprite. However, I'm gonna show you in a bit that you can change it to whatever you want. So next up, what you want to do is change the color. Click up there. This is the starting color, and this one is the end color. The end color, maybe make it orange. I'm going to be saying a little bit more about the colors, but now let's move on to the size. And let's change this one to maybe something like this. And you can see the juicy of this fire is coming to life. And you can see that all of the fires have basically like this, all of the flames have like the same size throughout the whole thing. So we want to add a little bit of variation. And this is the starting variation. So now some of them will spawn bigger than the others. And also a little bit of ending variations. So now this is how it looks. And now you might say, well, there's a lot of yellow. And all you gotta do is either change in here, make it a little bit more to the red, and then you can see that it's starting to get less yellow, or you can just play around with this one. This is basically how yellow it's gonna be. I like to have it like really like orange, red-ish. This looks very cool. And yeah, we're almost done. Now we just want to make the fire kind of like as if like there was wind, you know, so that it goes like to random directions at the end. And for that, you just want to change this value to 44 under motion. And now you can see that it's like flying around, and also change this one a little bit to give it a little bit more like, you know, motion or fiery thingy. And now let's move on to extra. This is basically, you can see that some of the fires are just, you know, they're just going away instantly. This is because some of them have the size of 12. And we don't want that. We want this to kind of fade away like really smoothly. And now you can see that it looks a lot more smooth. And this is, you can adjust this as you want. So yeah, I think this is perfect. And I like to also add a little bit of this. Also make sure that this number is always less than this number. So the one on the right has to be less than the one on the left. This is important because otherwise you're still gonna have like that issue where some of them are just gonna disappear like that. This is like the variation plus minus 10, so that if you subtract 10 from 18, it's still gonna be a positive number. So that is very important. Now you have yourself a very cool looking fiery thingy. And now if you click OK, you can see that it looks like a star because I misclicked. Now, boom, look at this. So this looks very, very cool, and I'm gonna show you in a bit how you can make like this, what do you call it, like smoke. But for now, I'm just gonna be talking a little bit about the textures. And you can really decide which one you want to pick here. It really depends on how your level looks like, how you want the atmosphere to be fitting. And I like to go with either this one or these ones. These ones also look very, very cool. These ones have like this sort of like circly, glowy thingy. Or you can choose one of those guys. Those few ones in here also have a very cool visual. However, when you choose one that is not a circle, for example, let's say you choose this one. Okay, this one's not that good. Let's choose this one in here. So this one looks like that, and you can see that some of the stuff doesn't look that cool when they go up. So all you want to do is add a little bit of spinning. So this way they all spin like that. And this doesn't make that much sense in here. If you want to, you can do that, but you don't really have to. I like it when you do this one, when you use like this texture to also add dynamic rotation. So this way they all rotate towards where they're going, which gives it this very cool looking effect that the flames are basically going towards the wind, basically. So yeah, now I'm just going to be talking about how to make like this pixel fire, you can call it, and then we can move on to the smoke, and then we can talk about this one a little bit. So now for the pixels, you want to use this one. You just use the exact same one, and then what you want to do is make this a lot lower, because pixels, you gotta make them a lot smaller and a lot lower. So maybe something. And also I don't like to rotate pixels at all. Make sure this is ticked off, and also rotation, spin, all of those are 0. And now we are pretty much almost done. You can maybe change this a little bit like that so it looks more yellowy. And yeah, that is almost it. Let's just make it a little bit smaller. And yeah, that looks very, very cool. Here we have this one, and you can like adjust the values as you want, or you can like click on one and make it like that, so it looks like it looks pretty cool. And now smoke. Now let's move on to make this cool looking smoke above the particle. And okay, the way you want to do this is also very simple. You just add a particle, and this one I like to have it at like 55. Don't make it too much. However, for this one you also gotta change the lifetime, make it 3, and make sure to also click on calc. And this one I like to have a little bit more angle variation, you can call it, and a little bit more speed also. This one should be 90 like that, and the position should be a little bit larger like that. And now we have the gravity. The gravity should be something like this maybe. So you can really choose what direction you want the gravity to go. I'm just going to be making it going top left here. And now I would like to use either this one or this one. Let's use that one for now, and now we want to make it a lot bigger. However, for this one, for the smoke, I like to make the end size bigger than the start size, so it goes from small to big, which is usually how smoke goes in real life. However, for this one, you can see that they don't look that cool because you need a little bit of rotation, like a little bit of random spinning here and there. You can adjust these values. They don't really have to be exact. You can just play around with them, really random values. And now the fade in comes in, where you have this kind of fading in thingy, and you can change. I like to have the end alpha at 0, and then maybe change this a little bit like that, and then make this one also very low. Now you can see that the effect is coming to place. It looks very, very cool. Let's increase some of the values in here to make it a little bit bigger like that. Also play around with the variation. Always important to make it look a lot better. And now you can see that this is the smoke. It looks very cool. If you want it to be slower, you can just change the lifetime, click calc, and lower the gravity. This way it becomes a lot slower. You can see this is the one that we just made. This is very, very slow. It looks very cool. And also make sure to add a little bit of fade out, so this way when the particles finish, they kind of slowly fade out very smoothly, and you can't really tell anything. So that is very, very cool. By the way, I'm going to be uploading this level so you guys can check it out and maybe copy them. I don't really mind if you guys use them. And for the pixel smoke, it's pretty much the same thing. You just gotta make the particles a little bit lower. I'm just gonna be copying everything and pasting it, so in case you guys copy it, you can choose the one that you want. So choose pixels. You can have them rotate, it's fine, but just make sure to make them like really smaller, a lot smaller, and also a little bit like that. And now you have a cool looking pixel smoke. So yeah, that is very, very cool. However, you can see that this one does not look as cool as this one. That's because there is this glow object. Add this object in here and scale it up a little bit. Add it on top, and then give it a certain color. Let's say you give it color, I don't know, color 6, and then you make color 6 red, and blending. Blending is very important. And now you can adjust the position, make it a little bit bigger like that, and then it looks very, very cool. So these are like the 3 objects that you need for this: glow, fire, and smoke. And then you put them all together like that. Boom, fire, boom, smoke. Looks very, very cool. However, I like to have the smoke a little bit like that, maybe above the fire. And also I would recommend adding, where is it? This one in here. If you go to pause and then click on this gear, and then go to the right, you can see there is hide particle icons. So this one, don't have it on, and then you're gonna see these ones. So you can like select them correctly. And if you want to view the effect, you can just do this. Or on PC, you can just click F4, 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 F4. Very, very convenient. So yeah, that is all we have for the fiery thingy. However, in here you can see it looks very, very cool. And this is because I added a bunch more things. So you can see that this fire in here exists. And this is a pixel fire. You can find it in here in the same tab as the particle system. You just scroll a little bit and then you can see these ones, and the colors are orange like that. Here's the hex code if you need it. Blending, and then the second one is pure red, and you can copy the color and paste it in here, and then it looks very, 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 very cool. So that is nice. And this one also contains a bunch of objects, of course, to glow. And then you have this one. This one actually looks very, very nice. This is a particle system that basically just goes like that. Boom, 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 boom. And the way to do this is also very simple. You're just gonna have one particle, click on max to make this -1, and then change some of these values as you want. And all of these ones have to be 0. All of these ones also... Oh, oops, what the heck? What is going on? So, okay, let me just get back to this. So all of these ones in here can be 0. This one can be 0. And this one as you want. The size, make it really, really big. And you really decide what size, the color as you want. However, the most important thing is the fade in and fade out. This is not really that important. Fade in like that and fade out like that. Make sure, this is very important. Let's say your lifetime is 0.82. You want the combination of these two to be less than this one. So this one is 0.82 and these two are 0.33 and 0.34. So these two combined are 0.67, which is less than this one, which is good. Now, if you make this a lot bigger, you can see that it's gonna start to look a little bit not that very cool. And yeah, you're just gonna make sure that these ones are the combination of these two are less than this one. And then you're gonna have this very cool looking effect. And what else you can do is, this is basically the same one as this one that I added in here. And finally we have this one. This one is just like to add like these sparkles you can call them, I don't really know. And yeah, these ones have this texture, and you can copy some of the values in here. You can pause it and just copy them. And I also like to maybe sometimes add a particle where you're gonna have like a very fast like particles. So choose this one, make it big like that, make very few, and then make it go really fast, and then add a little bit of position friction. And now what you want to do is add a little bit of fade out and also a little bit of speed variation. You can really do whatever you want here, and also make this really low. And I like to have it as somewhat yellow, or maybe a little bit orangey is also fine. And then you have this like sparks thingy, but you don't really need this, but it just looks a little tiny bit more detail. You decide if you want to have this or not. And yeah, these ones I just made on my own. This is basically like custom art. You can hide the background, the ground, and see how they look. This is just a bunch of logs from the tree. And yeah, these are like all custom made. So yeah, you feel free to copy this and use it in your level. I don't really mind. But yeah, add credits if you wish. Would be very, very cool. And yeah, if you don't want pixel art, you can just use these ones. Copy and paste. Boom, you have a fire. And place it in here and place all those guys on top. And I think this is it for this tutorial. If you guys have any questions, make sure to slap them down in the comment section. And also like and subscribe if you enjoy it. If you want to have more tutorials, check out this playlist, which has a lot of tutorials about 2.2 editor. So I'm just going to be uploading this level. I'm going to be making it unlisted so that you have to enter the ID in order to see it. And here it is. I'm also going to add it to my 2.2 tutorial list, which you can also check in here, lists, and then go down 2.2 tutorials. These are basically all the tutorials that I have. And yeah, here's the ID. I'm going to be putting it in the description also. And yeah, and that is it for this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next event.